He's whiny.
Yeah, like he sounds like such a bitch.
I hate it.
I want to go to that.
I was talking to one of my good friends, acquaintances, beloved partners, who just recently got out of Singaporean jail, and this is something really fucking funny. He was telling me that they like totally banned homosexuality, right? So you can't you can't. There's cameras everywhere. You can't you can't touch another guy. You can't certainly like start fucking them, or someone's gonna come over and they're gonna prevent you from doing this, I guess.
Oh, in
with
jail.
Like force. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant on the street. I'm like, oh shit, I can't touch my bros.
No. With the exception of the Malays, the Malaysians, they let them do all of this gay shit because they're like, we just understand that as a race,
they can't.
That's how they are. They're like, so like the Singaporean jail has like a codified like Malaysian homosexuality clause that allows them to do whatever they want.
That's hilarious. Hey, listen, good for them.
Okay, do you know like Michael Cheong?
Yeah. Is he Malaysian?
Yeah. That's like the only thing that I think of when I think of like Malaysians is him. Where I'm just like and it's
I would believe
his profile picture is one of those things where he
has the worst I don't know why he does that. It makes me want to punch him in the face.
It's truly one of the most infuriating pictures that exists on Twitter, like as a thing, right?
I mean,
it's
he posts
really
in an infuriating way too. But that picture makes you just go like, I want to bully you so bad.
And like, I think what people do usually when they like try and select a profile picture is they try and find one where it's like flattering to themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Like they aren't usually trying to be like, I want to make you hate me. But like, I feel like he actually did. Like, I feel like he understands that his brand is just making you want to freaking kill him. Mm-hmm. And like rage reacting to everything. And I think he actually specifically selected a picture just so it can be like the most punchable thing ever.
Yeah, considering the face he's making, it has to be. He's making like a very like a crooked dweeby face. So yeah, it definitely has to be deliberate.
Dude, he's trying to get us. Mm-hmm. And it works.
It does work. I mean, if a sufficiently successful troll is indistinguishable from reality, right?
Correct.
You just troll me hard enough and like, you know what? Actually, you win, and I still want to punch you in the face.
Yes. He's a genius, I guess. He's like, and there are all these times where it's like, it's like, does someone like that consciously think about that? Like, did he ever sit down and think like, I want to pick the most punchable thing? Or did he just like gradually iterate towards like what works?
Iterate to AB. I think he thinks he's not an ass, like not a.
But it's like, does it even matter at a certain point? Like, I don't know. People always get into this like distinction between like, oh, like they did this consciously versus they did this subconsciously, or it's like
I don't think it really matters. I think in practice, it worked out, right? He knows that he gets the most engagement when people hate him.
Yeah.
So he's like triangulating it down to the same thing, really. It's like when you pick, when you did the girl face, I mean, that was conscious.
That was like, we sat there in group chats making like, would it be funnier if I did this or this? And then that one was funny actually, because like all the things that I don't know, like there were a number of those like OnlyFans girls that like to do the meme about how much like, oh, it's so hard to be like a girl on the internet. Like nobody pays attention to you or whatever. We're at a constant handicap. And then it's like, well, like, I think if this was true, you would just be like anonymous, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to openly be a girl on the internet. If you were actually at this massive handicap, you could just like...
You could just be Zinnia.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could just never post a picture, right? And put like a dog profile picture and pretend you're a man, right?
I mean, a dog wouldn't work. It's still girl coded.
Whatever.
A small, cute animal is
no. If you make like an account and you have like a male-ish sounding or just even neutral name, like people aren't going to assume you're a girl. Like it's so hard to overcome the default expectation of somebody being like a man on the internet.
Well, the thing is, I feel like with actual girls on the internet, I feel like it's always really easy to tell because I feel like their girlness is so ingrained bedded into their psyche that they just do classic girl tells. Like they'll type in all small caps and they pick like wheat fields and cute little animals. They can't stop themselves from girl posting, even if they're anonymous. There are very few women anonymous, like actual anonymous women that like I could not tell were women almost instantly.
Maybe.
I always think about this because I feel like I catch them instantly. I'm like, all right, this is actually a girl. I don't know what the tells are. Right? It's like subconscious, but I'm like, this is definitely a girl.
I feel like we kind of do it to some extent, but also like we're unusually like online calibrated freaks to this shit, right?
That is true. The average person isn't going to do that.
And that was what I figured out when I did like the Lucas as a woman thing was you don't like most people are relying on like really rough rudimentary cues for this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I changed my profile picture to a girl. My name was still Lucas. I still had this exact same bio.
Mm-hmm.
I still posted the same shit, but it was just I had a woman profile picture now.
So
everybody assumed I was a woman. And like I think that's basically how everybody on the internet does it. It's like if they have a picture of a girl, then they're a girl. And if they don't, then they're not a girl.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think funny enough, I do think it's harder the other way around. Like if a guy has a girl picture, I confuse more. I think I confuse men for women more often than I confuse women for men. Like even like some people, like even like Sayla, I thought he was a girl for a long time. I had no real reason to think he was a girl.
Tons of people think he's a girl, and I don't get why. He has like a very specific like it's like a 2010s like manosphere posting style.
Yeah,
it's very like identifiable to me as being a guy. And I every time I hear someone say he's a girl, I'm like,
I don't know what it was. He almost sounded like a pick me. He had like a pick me girl.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. He reads to me like a young Mike Cernovich or something. So when people say that they think he's a girl, I'm just imagining like Mike Cernovich in a dress and being like, "Yep, close enough, bro."
I just imagine some chick from like Arizona being like pick me posting. I don't know why, but like that just gives me like ASU campus conservative. Like white girl.
He does do the fair bit of pick me posting though. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
but it's always like a fun one though. Like there's several opinions that I have where it's like if you just give the opinion and you don't give my explanation for the opinion, girls love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do that all the fucking time, right? Like it's like people have the posts that they have of like a Reddit situation where like it's like a totally made up story of some girl like, oh my God, like I can't believe I lost him. Like he was such a good guy and I was such an evil whore and now he'll never love me or something. And they post it and I just like quote tweet it saying like, there's absolutely no way you've ever talked to a woman if you think this is real. And all of the girls are like, yeah, so true, so true. And like they're getting excited because they think that I'm saying that like, yeah, like, like this was made up to like slander women and like, and it's like, well, I mean, sure, yeah, but like the reason that I'm saying it's not real is because like when a girl decides that she's not with a guy or when it becomes impossible, he like instantly becomes bad. There's none of this like, oh, he's such a good guy. How do I I can't have him, right? It's like if she can't have him, he's a bad guy person by default, right? So like that story would never get written by an actual girl.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. No, she'll like find a reason why. She'll quantify one of his traits, like just qualify one of his traits as bad, and now he's a bad guy forever. He was a narcissist. He's this, da da da. He was a soft manipulator.
There's a reason that they didn't work out, right?
Like you ever hear like soft manipulator and like that? I'm like, okay, we're stretching the boundaries.
He abused me. Well, not like physically, and not soft necessarily abuse. Like emotionally, but like. There were aspects of his personality that contain abusive elements at a fundamental level.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's been a lot of discourse recently on these Reddit fucking posts. I think it's literally just like at this point, I think there's people out there that are just making this stuff and it's like it's a bullshit post. Like it's not. Yeah, none of them feel real anymore.
Like I don't even think that they're trying to do this as like I'm trying to trick the people. Like I think it's literally like they're writing funny stories for people to like amuse them. And then when these retards come out and they're like, whoa, like this is fake, this isn't real, like you guys are getting, it's like, that's like totally missing the point. It's like going and watching like a comedy movie and being like, oh, but like this isn't, like none of this really happened, like it's not a historic rendition of like what actually happened during World War II or something. And you're like, dude,
Yeah,
what? Like you're like going
point.
to like a stand-up comedy show and like asking the comedian if he has like sources or something.
Fucking sources, bro. No, yeah, Reddit is like, it's year 20 of Reddit, so now it's just a simulation of what Reddit was when it was real. Everyone's just like trying to recreate the high that they had when they saw it when they were 14 by making bullshit stories up. But I still get caught up in it though, because at first I started off like, all right, this is fake, but let's handle this hypothetical, and then now I'm in an argument in the group chat for an hour and a half, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, I mean, that's exactly how they're supposed to be treated, though. Is it's like it's a hypothetical that you're supposed to like argue over, but like it's not like you should never like, I don't know, like all of the stuff on the internet should just be like treated as if it is like whatever will like most amuse you, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start getting down into the nitty gritty of like attributing, oh, like this is actually real or this is actually, it's like that's not like the argument that you're supposed to be having, right? It totally misses the point.
It's a thought experiment. Have your little hypothetical, and get your little internet debate, and kill 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's what it's for.
Yeah, like they're doing creative writing, and increasingly, like it seems like there's like a group of them now that are doing more and more of this. You know, like there's got to be like a cabal of like Reddit situation. Like they go on to like r/am I the asshole, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna bang one out of the park. I'm gonna create like you know, it's gonna be like a cheating wife, but like her husband is abusive, but like they have like a son who's like embezzling money, and like their uncle is gay, and like they're just like tossing everything in, and like, and the best thing is like when you see like one that really goes turbo viral, you realize that like the thing that made it go turbo viral is there's like 3 or 4 key parts of the story where they've omitted all of the information that you would need to like decisively tell who's like good or bad, right?
That's a very good point. Yeah, because when I was thinking of from this week, from like yesterday, I was arguing about the go bag, and as we're analyzing it, we're like, we don't know. They're probably both bad, but we actually can't tell anything.
Right, because they write the story in such a way that you feel like you have enough information to have like a very strong opinion. But then when you're looking, like the very specific things that you would say, like cement it and make it like totally sure they don't give it to you. Mm-hmm. I forget which one I was looking at where I realized that this was a thing, but
that's true. Yeah, it's purely ambiguous, but just enough of they give you just enough to be mad one way or the other.
Right, and you pick the party that you like identify most closely with, right? Like it's like it's just enough signifiers to give you the tribal alignment without letting you have like 100% certainty.
Damn, they're kind of genius actually if you think about it.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, this is kind of the same thing with posts too, is like there's like a level of making people argue in your replies that is necessary to like go super viral. Mm-hmm. Like you can have like just some normie like, oh, like that's a really funny like clip from a movie, or like that's a really cute rabbit or something. But like if you want to go like discourse viral and get quote tweeted 10 billion times, the goal that you should be striving for is basically like saying something that is going to draw 2 opposing parties into your replies and making them try to kill each other.
Yeah. I found that I get very successful when I say something very innocuous that's like conventional wisdom, like an asshole. So people do not like that one. Like if I say something that's like, you should love your wife, but I say it like a dickhead, then everyone gets just as mad as if I said something like crazy.
You're really good at doing the thing where you like draw people in because your tone pisses them off so much. And it's like, and then like they get so worked up by your tone that like 10 minutes into them like spamming replies, they realize like, wait, like the actual thing that I'm like getting mad about, like I can't defend my anger over this. It doesn't make any sense. Like I seem like a huge retard if I'm genuinely this pissed off about this.
Yeah. It's an art form. Really, it's just how I talk in general. I just make people really mad at me all the time just from my normal conversational tone. But yeah, I've turned it into an art form in the what is the blacksmith when he's fucking beating the sword?
He's forged
That's like me
in
and
the forge.
The forge, yeah.
No, it's funny because this is like how it all gets iterated, right? Like there's a path that you get to watch everyone go through as their like audience grows, and you get to watch like the weird selection pressures that they're being accosted by.
My mic this way, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a new year, so I'm gonna.
I don't know. I think if you go like off axis, it changes how much it's picking it up or something. Yeah,
that's fair. I don't know why I just had that like ADHD moment where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna switch it up. But we're back. Sorry.
Holy fuck! Oh my god.
Are we losing money? What's going on?
I am making a lot of money. Holy shit!
Even better. Much better.
I just looked at the TIA chart. Oh my god,
speaking of making a lot of money or not making a lot of money, I watched Pandora go from like $200 to $25,000 in like a week.
Wait, what?
Pandora?
Yeah, everyone kept saying that to me, and I was like, "Is it just like another meme coin?"
I saw it.
Like, yeah.
I thought it was a meme coin too. I was like, "Oh, this is a good name." And I saw it. I was like, "Oh, it's $200." I was like, "I must have missed it." It is $25,000 only like 3 days later, and I'm like,
"Huh?
Oh, well, thanks."
So it did like an actual like
100x, legitimate 100x in like 3 days. I'm like, "Oh, okay, good to know." I had this one in the bag. I was sitting on Twitter like, "Oh, that's a good name. That probably will do well." But I was like, "Oh, I must have missed it."
Like, what is Pandora?
It's basically like it's like the way that they describe it is that it's if you just recognize that NFTs are coins with pictures on them, it's like they made a new ETH protocol ERC.
Oh, is this
number.
that ERC 404 shit?
Yeah, that shit. It's the original.
It's like you called it ERC 404. Like it's like 404, like domain not. It's like this does not bode well for my funds, right? So I've just been avoiding it. And then the funny thing is, ERC every one of them except fucking Pandora has been like a rug that I've seen.
Yes, they have all.
So it's like it's super funny. Like you name it 404, your funds get 404'd. You know, like it's just like what did you like? It was all there for you. You had every clue that you needed to understand what was going to happen to your money when you did this.
Yep, but the original apparently is a true 100x, which I haven't seen. Especially, I haven't seen like a 3-day 100x in.
Well, especially because it's like an actual protocol, right? Like I've seen like 100x's off of like bullshit 69 420 coin, right?
Yeah,
but like I haven't
like
protocol coins haven't been doing anything. You know, it's like I guess Celestia is fine. It looks like Dime DYM, whatever the fuck that is. It seems like
but
wants
I don't think
to be Celestia too.
But it did all right. I don't think they did 100x, but it did well.
They'll be fine, I guess. I'm happy, dude. I'm so fucking happy that Ox Fun has like, because like they make you do like 3 tasks per day in order to get like your 200% APR payout. And so the idea basically is that like enough people are gonna fuck up and fail doing your like daily gambling tasks on the exchange that the market maker for the exchange and the exchange is gonna make money off of the market maker and fees and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like. It's it's like a gambling daily thing, like a gotcha game. And one of the tasks is like you have to have like at least a 1x leveraged total position on your account all the time. Another is you have to have at least 20% of your account volume or of your account collateral in volume daily. So if you have like 100K in the account, you have to have at least 20K of daily volume, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like in order to do this, I've actually had to be like actively trading for the last like 2 weeks. And I went from just like really safely hedging everything to like actually learning kind of how to do this. And it's awesome because every day I'm just getting slightly more profitable and getting like ballsier and ballsier with it. And like, good. I'm sure at some point this is going to result in me just being disastrously wrecked, right?
Yeah.
But currently it just fucking rocks.
House always wins, but it does sound fun. I mean, that's in the name, so.
Well, and the other cool thing is we're building a feature basically where you can stake your funds with the market maker.
It says you're having a problem.
Oh, nice.
Their high-quality audio stream from microphone has stopped. Your mic is fucked.
It's probably an internet connection thing. I think I'm on a VPN. Okay. Is it still going?
It says close any non-Zencaster software and disable browser extensions. That might be blocking.
Oh, is that for me?
That's for you.
I think I have like 87 different other. Let me just close out of.
Let me close this too. I just realized this is open. This is great audio. Everyone's like, oh, let's make us close our fucking apps.
But yeah,
another pop-up.
okay,
It's probably fine.
it's like, okay, so it lets you lock your funds on the exchange in. So it's like, you know how Hyperliquid basically lets you give your money to someone else to trade, and then like you get like 90% of their profits, and they keep like 10.
I did not know about this. Well, that
That's what
sounds
they
fun.
right. So they have these
sounds like
vaults. They have these vaults. So like if you
That's like the
basically
fucking
want to
mafia.
contribute liquidity to
Uh-huh.
like someone who you think is a really good trader, you can do that. Oxfun is going to do that, but the main vault, like anyone can make a vault, but the main vault that they let you lock with is going to be the internal market maker for the exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like either fight the house or join the house, right?
Join the house. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think the average person probably should just join the house, especially because like there's like a leaderboard for like how much money people have made, and like he's on the leaderboard, and it's just like it's just like this ridiculous destruction.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, like it's in any iterated game, you want to pick the house.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before you get wrecked.
Yeah.
I like that they find new and more. I like that crypto always finds new and more convoluted ways to be the mafia. They're like, okay, we've already created the casino. How do we make this more like a casino? Let's also introduce the mafia, where you can add liquidity to players and get 90% of their profits, and then fucking put them in debt slavery if they fail.
The big thing for me is like, you know how basically every single like every single crypto game that's come out has just been this sort of like weird clicking thing that doesn't have any actual backbone, because like crypto people aren't exactly like game designers. The funny thing that I think about this concept basically is like gamifying trading, which is like the only game that every crypto person knows, right? Like you have charts, you have your lines, you have your leverage sliders. Like that's the only thing that like every single person in crypto knows, likes, is familiar with. Why not just make an exchange that turns that shit into a game, right? Why not just like you unlock an achievement for like bidding within the bottom 2% of like the daily's range, right? Like why not?
I agree. Actually, yeah. Like why even bother trying to make a novel game when you could just take the game that we're already playing?
Yeah, and like Blur did this. There's funnier ways to do it, I think. Yeah. But like Blur basically financially incentivized people to be very dumb, right? And do a bunch of things that make no sense, right? Like you want to have like a $400 million bid wall on like Milady NFTs so that you can get Blur points, right? Because they incentivize you to have bids in within some percentage of the price.
Yeah, which is dumb overall.
Yeah, it's like something that would never happen if there wasn't somebody paying you money to do it. But like if you have the exchange taking the trading funds and using them to like pay people to do this stupid shit, you can get like a lot of really, really funny incentive stacks.
I like it. That sounds fun. I'm not gonna do it. I don't need to get.
I'm doing it, and it's super funny.
Because all that's gonna happen is I'm gonna lose everything. But I do like the idea in theory.
The idea, I think, is to try and figure out a way to do it all that like actually exposes you to as little risk as possible. Because like you know that you have like a given amount that you can lose every day. Like I'm making basically 0.6% of my total collateral every day, so I can lose anything up to 0.6% daily.
Yeah, see, here's
total
the thing.
account value.
The problem is I've learned over time that the more I trade, the worse I do. So
really,
yeah, I do really well if I pick like one trade a week, and there's wait until I have that one that's like so clearly like press the buy button now, and that's usually what does well. Whereas if I trade, when I used to trade like leverage trading daily, I would do fine if I like lowered it to like one trade a day. If I started doing like multiple in between, I just start like whittling down my account.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly just because like I start to like the signal noise thing from my intuition goes up, right? Because once you're like invested, you start to find like, oh, well, maybe I can do this. It gets more and more complicated, right? Whereas like if I keep it at like, okay, we're only going to make a trade that's like I have like near 100% conviction on, then I do better.
I've been getting like exponentially better just because I recognize like the stupid things that I do all the time. And it's like, every time I do something that's like borderline going to lose me money, I go back and I'm like, oh, like I should maybe just not do that in the future.
See, that's self-control. Some people are good at that. Some people can do like the very the disciplined trading. I used to have a trading journal and try to do that shit. That's not my. I just can't do it. I can't keep up with it. I just like I always break my own rules, and then I'm just like fucking max left buy,
Yeah.
and then it's fucking over. So I have to.
I am a big fan of market buying. That is my big
I do love a
fatal
market buy
downfall.
too. Actually,
I love the I love going
I don't.
in
I
and
hate
just
a limit buy.
pressing the big green button.
Yeah, I used to
Not
do
good.
limit buys because like taker and maker fees, but overall, if I trade less, if I'm doing a lot of trading, like if I was doing leverage trading, I would do limit buys for the fees because I
It's just
realized
not
that
sexy is the thing.
it's not
like there's
sexy.
nothing sexy about placing an order at a given price and then you're just waiting, hoping it's going to hit that. It's like
It's not
you
sexy.
feel like a loser. You feel like a giga Chad when you come in and you click
Green button.
market buy and you get hit with like a 0.5% total fee on your order, and it's even worse because you slip so hard. You slip the price up like 3% with your buy, but you feel like a god, man.
What you got to do is the even more fun thing is where you ladder buy and you put it like smaller increments. That's what I started doing. Or like let's say I wanted to do $5,000 buy. I'll put $1,000 and do 5 buys and just keep pressing the space bar because a lot of trading the space bar is the buy button, and that feels like fucking the chef's kiss when you're just
That's
like
funny, yeah.
oh, it feels so fucking good.
Being a market maker and having like a bunch of like keyboard shortcuts, and you're just like, have you ever seen one in real life? Like, have you watched what they're doing when they're sitting there and just like, it's like they're typing, but they're not typing. They're just like reorganizing like millions of dollars every second. It's really
no, I've
bizarre.
not seen that. That's dope.
Yeah. It's like, it's one of the most like tapped in things I've ever seen. Like I can 100% imagine like a financial market maker sitting there with like the Apple Vision Pro, and that anime where like their fingers split into like 37 little wire things and they're typing at like 8 billion words
Ghost
per
in the
minute.
Shell. I think that's Ghost in the Shell.
That's exactly what I imagine whenever I
fucking
see
locked
like,
in.
Yeah.
See, now it makes me see the thing about. Speaking of, we have to speak about the Apple Vision. It's I want it on one level because it's very anime. It feels very like Ghost in the Shell. On the other hand, it's just like begging to get like thrown in the locker. I can't imagine walking around.
It's like the nerdiest like dweeb thing ever, but it's also like such like a funny soy jack thing that like I super want it, right? Like I live in a place where like nobody even fucking knows what it is. If I went into a store wearing like the Apple Vision Pro, like literally nobody would have ever seen or heard about it, right? And like I would just be this like extreme weirdo outlier freak in a super funny way.
Yeah, I feel like in Austin you can get away with it because people like are wannabe tech people here.
Yeah, like that's you're in the place where like you could actually just do it and people would be like, "Oh, that's like
sick,
cool.
bro." That's
yeah, or
dope.
like, "Oh, like can I try it?"
And you're like, "What are you looking on?" I'm watching fucking anime and talking to you. Yeah, we kind of dope. But at the same time, I also don't feel like I feel like I'm just getting that much closer to Neuralink and being fucking absorbed into the Antichrist. So I don't know if I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. The Neuralink shit is a little bit like I don't know what to do about that one because it does seem increasingly like
that one scares me.
Right, like it's actually going to happen like within our lifetimes. I was kind of saying like, well, like I don't have to worry about that one for a while, but it's like I don't know, dude. Like
10 years,
shit.
bro.
Yeah, like I'm actually going to have to like make a decision on this one, and I'm not really in favor of the brain chip, right?
At the very least, you could skip the first couple gens. You don't want to get into Neuralink. You want to get Neuralink
like a
5.
Neuralink like Gen 1er. Like that's like the dumbest possible thing.
Bro, you're not even
kind of the same thing with the Apple Vision Pro where it's like at the beginning, I think it's going to be super it's going to be like super novel and there's going to be like a couple people who like they figure out how to use it for really cool things, right? Like you saw how you can like light up a piano and like teach yourself like the chords and shit.
Yes,
that's
cool.
There's going to be a bunch of shit like that where you can just like 10 billion X your rate of learning for it.
Yes.
And I think people who like really lean into that are going to like super turbo make it. But also there's just a bunch of like, like stupid bullshit. Like the people who are like, oh, well, like I can like sweep my floor and I can tell like which parts I've gotten because I like put a digital overlay of coins out. So that like I can tell which parts I've already vacuumed because the coins are gone or whatever. It's like,
yeah, that's just like kill yourself.
right.
No, the thing with Neuralink though with Gen 1 is like, you know, the with Neuralink you're gonna like ultimately like the end vision would be like we're all like connected, all of our brains are connected, we're all uploading your brain to the net. That's the singularity vision type of thing. But like Gen 1 or Gen 2, they're probably like on an island. Like it's probably like not backwards compatible with the ultimate hive mind, right? So
Yeah,
like by the
probably.
time they actually get it correct, we're like, okay, we're actually tapped into everyone. The Gen 1 and Gen 2 people are gonna be like, oh well, not you guys. I know you guys were early adopters, but actually we fucked up. So now your brain's incompatible with the hive mind. And
That is such a weird thing to think about too, because it is definitely like it's technology, right? It's going to be iterated upon.
Mhm.
So like what, like you're going to have this in your shit for like 10 years and you think it's not going to get like turbo outdated in 6 months?
Oh yeah,
You know?
or like, or you're gonna be the first. Oh, you're also the guinea pig, right? So the hackers show up. You're gonna get your brain hacked. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. You want like the like kind of like the iPhone 6 when like people really got in the iPhone. You want to get like Neuralink 6 if it's gonna be a thing that we can't avoid.
Man.
You want Neuralink 6, and that's like probably like 20 years away at least.
That's such a shitty thing to think about. I hadn't thought about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that like, and it's like what, you're going to get a new Neuralink reimplantation surgery
In your
every
fucking brain, like disgusting.
Yeah, like I don't know, dude. That's
I don't know what Elon's gonna do. Like that's also the thing. Like, why even have? I mean, I understand. Like his whole thing is like the bandwidth. We have a bandwidth limit, right, in our brain, right, and Neuralink can get past that, so we can like learn things really fast, very like Matrix like, right. But what's the point? Like, why even have the implant? I mean, I understand why, but like as a individual, why have the implant when you can when like your Apple Vision's gonna get to the point where it's like I have access to everything ever, like outside of my head. I can just put this on and off, or like, and it'll get smaller too. Like, what I have a contact in. Like, do I really need it in my head if I can access it instantly? Like, do I? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like Apple Vision is cool to me specifically because it's like as close to the Neuralink shit as you can get without actually being like Neuralink, right? Like, I'm really not a fan of, you know, like I think this is a pretty easy thing for people to get behind. Is it seems like technology repeatedly gets hacked or otherwise misused.
Mm-hmm.
It seems also unlikely that Neuralink is like the one technology that won't be like hacked or misused. So like, it might be good to not like put it in your fucking
brain
head.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe take a wait and see approach on the brain implant.
Yeah. So I don't know, like the Apple, the Vision Pro stuff though is just like there's so many funny uses that I can think for it. You know, like
yeah, I think that would be fun. Like I ultimately will get some kind of AR.
Oh, absolutely. If people are still raving about it in like a month or 2 or 3 or something, like I'm 100% just going to get one. Cause like there's so much fucking like just talking to someone and having like a chat GPT window pulled up. And like, you're like, imagine you're like running the entire conversation by like what chat GPT tells you to say to this person. Or like you go to the grocery store and you're like talking to a cashier or something. And you're like having like nice, polite small talk with her. But like in the chat GPT window, you're asking it like, how do I get this cashier to fuck me? Like, how do I make her have sex with me? Like, it's just so funny.
Oh yeah, the game is going to get to the next level when you have real time feedback.
Imagine you have a guy who like live streams his entire existence, and like the only way that he decides whether to do or not do anything is because he asks Chat GPT.
That'd be funny.
And like you can real time watch Chat GPT's like as OpenAI iterates and makes like Chat GPT like 4.5 or 5. You get to see like each new software update and like what it does. Because this guy's life will change drastically based on the advice it gives him, right? Like, it's like, oh, that was a good update if he starts making like more at his job or something. But if his girlfriend dumps him, you're like, oh, OpenAI, like you fucked up.
Their stocks are correlated to the new Justin TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that'd be kind of, that's good alpha too. You just keep the stream up at all times. Just like, oh yeah, this is about to, there's OpenAI stock's about to go to the shitter. Microsoft's fucked.
Yeah, there's like so many of these funny, like weird butterfly things. It is. I've heard from people though that it's really heavy. Is the main thing.
See, it looks like it's heavy. It has like, because like the computer's in the front. You know, it has to be heavy.
No, I think the ideal thing is probably going to be like they have glasses, and then the actual hardware is like outsourced to some sort of weird little freak fanny pack shit or something like that. Like that's what I would go for.
Google Glass already exists.
Yeah.
Google Glass already exists, and it's also like it's lightweight. It's just that there's just more involved. Like you can put the screen windows in 3D space, so that makes it a little more complicated. And it has processing and shit like that. So I imagine there's going to be a middle ground. I think outsourcing is a good idea, or like having your phone do a lot of the processing. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know how strong, how much.
This is all stuff that it's like
computation
I
it
think
requires.
it's cool and fine, and you probably think it's cool and fine. But like I think the average person, if confronted with my like weird retard fanny pack strategy, is just going to be like,
I'm not wearing that shit.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm not touching that shit.
Well,
man.
you know, the average person has the entire suite of Apple products, and you could probably do some kind of like parallel computing between the watch, the iPhone, the glasses, and they wouldn't even care.
They're gonna need a massive battery. Is the only thing, though. You know?
The Apple Car. They're trying to make that shit right now. People are gonna have a full suite of products from car to everything, and then it'll be fine. They'll just like, oh, my car is fucking running a generator for my glasses down the street.
There's no way it's not going to be electric. It's all going to be electric. But I guess that is how you get the battery.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just pontificating. I have no fucking clue.
I don't really either. All this stuff is the one thing though that so I was talking to Charlie about this, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting them because even apart from all the rest of this, it's like it's monitors, it's travel monitors, right?"
Oh
and
yeah, that's
like,
a good point.
Oh shit, that's actually like
that's a good point.
Yeah, you know, like that actually justifies it pretty easily on its own. Is having like an unlimited amount of like 4K monitors. You know, like you basically have like 8 4K monitors in this tiny little glasses thing that you can put in your fucking carry-on.
Yeah, that is actually really convenient, especially if you're on like a plane or something.
Yeah.
For the plane alone, that actually, I mean, you kind of are limited in your.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not like you can have like a 360-degree like turbo panopticon, but you
can still have like a 4K display.
Right. Yeah, like you have multiple browser windows in a situation where like you simply don't otherwise. And they're like, this is like the problem with like traveling. I'm coming up on this more and more is like I bring my laptop and it's like, okay, I have a 16-inch screen to do everything. And it's like I hope that works. But like frequently that sucks ass and is super inconvenient.
I only have a 16-inch screen to do everything. I'm not cool enough. I don't have multiple monitors.
Well, it's also like a loserish thing, right? Like I hide my main desk with all of my monitors and shit because it's like this is like a weird thing that like dysfunctional losers have. There's nobody like you don't ever walk into someone's house and see like 3 monitors and be like,
hey, that's our fucking podcast audience you're talking about, man. Don't you fucking rag on our fans, bro.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah, I don't. I think 2 monitors is like the socially acceptable number of monitors.
2 is acceptable.
And after you start, like after you start branching out past that, it's kind of like,
but if you get to 4, you're kind of cool
from
now.
Like a moderate fetish into like one of those weird fetishes where like you're getting like spanked at like a club in like leather or something.
Mm-hmm. You're like hanging from the ceiling, get kicked in the balls. Yeah, I saw that.
Like that's what 3 monitors.
I was like, that was crazy. I was like, that's crazy. New York City is wild for that.
Yeah.
I feel like though, if you have like 4, you're almost like you're like a hacker in a movie though. 3 is lame, but 4 is cool.
The thing that I've kind of figured out is like I only really use 2. Like I have one for like the main thing that I'm focusing on, and then I have another that has like the chats, right? Like I have like Telegram open constantly, and I'll have like I have one monitor that's flipped like 90 degrees.
Yeah, you have the side, the
Telegram, and then it has like Discord or
that's the streamer setup. The chat monitor, and then everything else. That's all you really need is 2. Because if I had my Telegram and all my other chats on another monitor, my life would be a lot easier because I wouldn't have to keep doing.
Yeah,
I'd have less carpal tunnel.
Yeah, it's literally just the chats. And the other thing is like you kind of need them to be open all the time because you do actually like when you're like working and people are like trying to contact you, you can't like just be off in la la land. And I think this is also why literally every job that I've ever worked in my entire life gave me 2 monitors. Like it's. I'm sure there's something that you could do where they would give you 1, but like I haven't encountered it.
I've never been given any monitors.
Huh.
But you're doing
your desk? They don't like
At
give
my
you a
desk,
desk
yeah.
and computer?
No. Well, I've been given computers, but I've never been given
Huh.
multiple monitors before. Multiple monitors
Huh.
is yeah. You got the special fucking like we like you package.
Oh, I'm talking
You got the
just like
personality hire
my normie
package.
job shit.
Oh yeah, no. My normal job, I was just given a computer, like single monitor.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck me. I have no idea.
Personality hire over here. Who's getting the fucking good shit?
It's like I don't know though. And I had like 3, and I do still have 3 set up, but it's like I just have this one monitor that like sits there and does nothing because you don't like you can't like focus on all of this other shit, you know? Like your brain has a limited amount of like ADHD focusing capacity, and 2 chat windows and 1 main thing is already like sort of butting up on it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've tried because I have pretty bad ADHD allegedly to do singular focus, and which I think is why I have one monitor. It does help me like at least do a task. I imagine with 2 monitors, I'd be fucking completely incompetent. Yeah. Well, at the very least, I have to focus on what's on my screen at the time. But you know, if I had chat running at the same time while I'm trying to do something, I would literally never get anything done. I'd be up in all the drama, all the group chat arguments.
I bet there's like a bunch of studies people have done on this. Like I bet like all the fintech and TradFi and consulting companies have done internal studies on like what the optimal number of monitors is to give their employees to make sure that like, because you know these are all the same guys who pay for like the tracking software, right? Where it's like literally they'll have like a constantly active camera that will do like eye tracking to see like what percentage of the time they're actually focusing on the screen versus their phone and shit. You know, like Deloitte, all those people, like they're like they're like turbo panopticoning all of their employees. And this is the other fucking thing with Apple Vision, right? Is so all of this like employee monitoring stuff. Like there was a company that I worked with a while back where they were basically asking like, what is the best way to get more productivity out of our employees remotely? Mm-hmm. And they were like, but we don't really want to do like any of this weird dystopian stuff. And they looked around, they tried a bunch of stuff, and basically they realized that like, okay, you can get more productivity out of your employees. It scales linearly with exactly how dystopian you want to be. It's literally just a factor of
it makes sense. Yeah.
How much are you going to monitor them and tell them that they have to be watched all the time?
Damn, that's evil. I mean, that's probably why I was so productive in school, in grade school, and then I stopped being productive as I got older. Because people were just, I think a lot of teachers like breathing down your neck. Your teacher's breathing down your neck.
No, like that's the thing school. Is like it actually does, you know, like it just objectively does work. Like everybody likes to do this thing where they say like, oh, like I'm like more productive remotely actually because like it's and then they come up with all these like weird cope answers. But it's like we have the data. Like we've looked at this for a long. You're lying. Like nobody's fucking more productive remotely. This is just absolute bullshit.
This is true.
So anyway, where I was going with like the Apple Vision.
Well, at the same time, though, I think you're like less productive. However, the workday is filled with so much like fake shit that you quantify. Like I feel like I quantifiably make the same amount of. I get the same amount of progress done because I spend so much time in bullshit meetings. We have to go to coffee together.
More total things done.
Mm-hmm. But less productivity.
People will get like more total things done. Yeah. But it's like it's less productive, but it's like they have more opportunities to do the things that they want to do, right? And it's like you might feel more productive, but it's like actually you're effectively like side hustling half of the time, right?
Yes, exactly.
And yeah. So what is going to happen is VR is going to get rolled out and implemented. Maybe not like Apple Vision Pro, but like some version of this is going to come down. And the thing with VR is it effectively has everything you need for like massively dystopian employee tracking built in, right? Like it can do eye tracking. It can like watch everything else and it's like, if you're required to wear this shit by work, like you can't be like texting, right? Like they know exactly. You can't be like secretly on Telegram. Like you're in a box, right? Like if you don't escape the W-2 slavery before like the end of the decade, Like they're going to make you wear the VR headset and you're going to be like,
then you're really,
yeah.
W2 slave forever. That's fucking brutal. That's so blackpilling. Oh no.
And like obviously there are going to be some professions and industries where like they don't do this, but like for a lot of them, like this is going to be the thing.
Oh yeah, if you work at a major like S&P 500 company, you're in the VR helmet slavery.
Yeah. Because I mean, like a lot of these companies are already doing this, right? Like they don't, like TradFi companies don't fucking care. They're not like I'm seriously concerned with like appearing to be like a moral employer, right? Like they don't give a shit, man. They're out here just like,
they're like, you work 80 hours a week, we pay you enough, and put the fucking helmet on.
Right. They understand that like the people are basically working there for like a year to 3 to have like the big name on their resume. And like, they're like, yeah, like while you're here, we're going to fucking squeeze all the juice out of you we can. Right. It's kind of like the Google strategy. FANG companies do the same thing. Like they understand that people aren't like, they don't want to be like a Facebook lifer, but like you get that shit on your resume for 3 years and it's like, you know, who's gonna not interview you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a hellhole. Or it's fucking, we're in hell, right, bro.
It's actually so funny.
That's
how
why
the
we got
entire job market has become like the fashion industry or something, where like it's like you work for like the reputation of working with us. We don't pay our employees, right? Like it's such a fucking it's like the supply and demand is just so fucked up.
That's why we gotta become podcast billionaires. The fucking podcast hustle.
Yeah, if you don't podcast, well, and even then, at some point, like podcasting, like we're basically panopticoning ourselves willingly, right? Like we're here on camera, listen. Like they're watching us. Like this is even worse than the Deloitte consultants have it.
But hey, listen, you could choose your own fate. You know, you can be watched against your will, or you can just lean in and put yourself on camera and let the audience.
Well, yeah, and then you get better and better, and like people say, I want more content, right? And then eventually you're just streaming yourself.
You're streaming. Oh man, you ever see those streams that are like, I streamed for a week and they're like sleeping on camera?
Yeah, no, and they have like, dude, it's so interesting because they have like they'll have like a backpack, right, with like a massive, like they'll have like a 10-pound like lithium battery in their backpack that they carry around to like power their camera and like mic and like make sure that they have like a 4G hotspot so that they can keep going everywhere, like no matter what. And it's just like such a bizarre use for technology. Like imagine shopping for that shit for that purpose.
Yeah, that's so gross. Those 24-hour streamathons or the week-long stream, I find those to be disgusting. Also, they're kind of dangerous. I mean, every time, quite a few people got swatted.
Oh yeah, you'll get like fucking mugged. Yeah.
Homeboy,
and the other thing
is telegraphing your location.
Yeah, you're telling everybody exactly
Ludwig
where you
got
are.
swatted. You know Ludwig?
Really?
Yeah, he did a streamathon. I think. Yeah, really big streamer on YouTube nowadays. He was on Twitch before. He was doing a streamathon. I think it was like 6 months ago, maybe it was a year ago. And for like 3 days, 72 hours, and he got swatted on cam. And like it was bad, but like he had to pretend like he wasn't getting swatted because if he had acknowledged it, it would have happened again. Like it either would have happened again or it would have got worse. Like there was a point where like they like swatted his house, and one of the guy who swatted him was like, it was like, I just fucking killed everyone inside. I'm coming out right now. And like his roommate almost got like shot because he came out. It was crazy, but he was smart enough to keep it off camera. Like they turned the camera off for like, 30 minutes, and they were like, because they like made up a story. But like they later revealed, we got swatted and like our dude almost died. It was crazy. But yeah, that's the danger of that. You are in the panopticon. That's the real panopticon.
You have to like call your like local PD or something. God, our connection is so fucked up. We keep starting.
It is kind of fucked up. There we go.
How like you have to just not react on the internet whenever anything bad happens to you. But it gets carried and taken to the most extreme extent when you're like 24/7 live streaming, because like you have to pretend like you're not getting like shot at by like the FBI as you're getting shot at by the FBI because you're on camera, because then additional people will call in and say like, oh, like I'm a hostage, like I'm in Ludwig's basement, like you have to help, like you've really got to shoot him. You've really more guys,
bro,
like
it's
more
fucking nuts.
bullets.
It's also because like the cops don't treat, even if they're famous, like Ludwig's effectively famous, right? He's a true celebrity.
Like he's basically like, because like I don't like watch this streamer shit, but like I know who he is because I've had people who like watch.
But like
streamers
the
tell me
cops
about
don't consider him a celebrity, right? So like if the same thing happened to Britney Spears and someone's like, I have a hostage,
Right.
what's the place location? They would just go, okay, shut up, you're a prank caller, or they'd call her first and be like, is this real? They would never like just like show up with like the SWAT team. Yeah.
There's no streamer privilege.
That's the real difference. Right? You're never going to be real enough for, well, maybe not never, when Zoomers become police officers, maybe. But for the time being, while Boomers are still in the Gen X people.
Well, I mean, I think the other thing is like, it's kind of hard to associate like Ludwig with like whatever his real name is, you know?
Yeah, you don't associate it with
like you don't. There's no cop who's going to get that call about this address and this name, and they're going to think like, oh, should I run like a cross reference?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, because he's not using his real name, right?
Or something.
So they don't know. They're just like, oh, it's some guy at this.
Like, there's going to be a point where you have to like, I don't know, like dox your e-aliases if you.
Well, the problem is like his name is doxed. Like he says it on stream sometimes. It's just that like he already is Ludwig, right? Like. He's never like his branding is fucked if he changes it. But like The Rock doesn't have this problem. The Rock is Dwayne Johnson is The Rock, and if someone's like, people know they're both aliases. So it's a tricky business. It's tricky business.
It's rough. It's fucking rough out here.
Fortunately, we have OBSEC, so if we ever start streaming, we'll figure out how to not get swatted. Hopefully.
Well, I'm actually already like I've already dealt with this. Like I'm safe.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I got the FBI called on me for a tweet, and so like,
but they came of their own volition though. They saw your tweet. It wasn't like you got called on, right?
It was actually because somebody replied to me. This was so freaking stupid, man. This was like the dumbest thing of all time. I made a tweet that was about like it was something like involving. It was like a joke involving guns, and some guy responded with like a joke that it was obviously like when one of those like very poorly socially adjusted guys tries to make a joke, but like he doesn't realize that the joke he's making was basically just threatening to like shoot up a school, right? Like it was like a horrible miscalculation by this dude, and so I guess he was bad enough with that they felt the need to send agents to my house and ask me like, so like, how do you know this guy responding to you? And I was like, I don't know who the fuck that guy is. And they were like, well, if he's responding to you, like that implies some sort of connection between the two of you. And like, I was like, not like 2,000 people responded to that tweet. I don't know, like, I don't want to say I don't know any of them because I don't want to like lie to a cop, but like, I don't think I know most of them. And they were like, what 2,000 people? Why? And I showed them the tweet. And this was the point where I realized like they're
just like following the call. They're just like, okay, I have to go.
Yeah. Like they just got a thing that said that they needed to talk to me. And it wasn't like, and I asked them, I was like, well, like, why didn't you like look at the and they're like, well, I would have had a button and then it would have been like an additional like confirmation that would have taken like another 36 hours or so. And I was like, oh, so it's literally like government bureaucracy is so fucking bad that like you didn't like, and it was also like, you could have just like thought to like go look up my account
just more
and
like
just look at the tweet, I guess. But I didn't want to tell the agent, like, are you so low agency that you never thought to go search my
I realized
thing
is
on
very
Twitter?
Funny. Imagine just being so fucking autistic and like your sense of humor is so shit that you get on an FBI watch list for tweeting like that. Like that's fucking.
Well, I mean, I think the guy probably got like pretty.
Oh yeah,
I bet. Probably got decently in trouble, right? Because like if they're coming to me, like I'm like 47 degrees removed from this guy, right? Like it's literally some random guy who replied to my tweet, and I got an FBI visit on behalf of him, right? So it's like, imagine what fucking happened to him.
Either he actually needed a SWAT call. That's what he needed. He's either like,
yeah, and I mean, dude, like So when that happened though, that was the point where I like told I was like, well, I guess you guys like know my thing now, so you have your like file on me. So if you know in the future if something like this happens, you should
Twitter.
consider it within the context of like. And then I explained to them like swatting, and I said like, so if someone ever does this to me, if you could like find some other way to verify it before you like
That'd be
send
nice.
guys in with guns, that would be like really ideal. And they were like, yeah,
we'll put it on your
make a note
file,
of that.
man.
I have no idea if they did. I have no idea if they did or did not make a note of that. But it's like I feel reassured,
terrified of getting
moderately,
swatted.
I
shouldn't say that. It would. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be good. I don't think anyone is like, yeah, I want to get
because they're just like
man.
they're just so rude too. They shoot your dog. Like it's just like they're fucking dickheads. Like the go-to thing is to shoot your dog.
Well, it's like this really funny, like just like at a base default level.
It's like guaranteed. That's happened to everyone. There's like, oh yeah, your
like
dog's.
Yeah, like whether or not the dog is like barking or like attacking them, it's just like like they have like an FBI like flow chart, and it's just like step 1. There's not even like a decision tree. It's just one box, and it says start swatting, and then box 2 is shoot dog. There's no like yes or no. It's just shoot the dog, no matter what. You've got to get rid of it. There's too many dogs.
I think I saw someone get swatted because of 4chan. Or some shit like that, and they shot a fucking golden retriever, like the nicest possible dog you could, like the only dog that doesn't bite people.
Yeah, like you're gonna get mauled by the golden retriever unless you shoot it.
Like what the fuck?
Times.
The dog's just chilling. Yeah. But yeah, so that's.
Did I tell you about like what they did with? So my front door latch was like broken. It was like I could explain it. Like when the door gets like. Out of square and all of this weird
expanding
shit happens with the way that the latch key interacts with like the hinge. And this was during a period where I still hadn't fixed it yet, right? So the FBI agents showed up at my house like right after I got off work, and I just like went back and flopped down in bed, and they knocked on my door, and it opened, and they were like, "Oh, we didn't mean to open that."
Yeah.
Because my latch was fucked up. They're like, oh, the cat got out. So I like hear this and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I like go down to the door and I see like fucking like 6 squad cars and like a K9 unit and all this other shit pull up in front. And I'm like, I was just like, like, okay, this is not like super what I wanted to be dealing with, I guess. Like I was like, I don't think I did anything, but like, it's very rare that you see this in front of your house and you're like, this is good news for me. Right. So, I go out there and, it's God. So he sees the cat. The cat's like rolling around at his feet, just like saying hi and stuff like that. And, I'm like, hello, officer. And, he takes out this massive, like 60 million lumen, like 8-foot long flashlight from his belt. And he points it at the cat. And then he turns it on like full blast, like shining like the light of God onto my cat.
I fucking see it, bro.
And I'm like, I'm like, dude, it's like day out. Like what? And I was like, thank you, officer. Like I was like, I don't know what and we sat there for like 30 seconds, just like after that. And he was like, do you want to put him inside? And I was like, oh, he just kind of does whatever. And they're like, okay. And then we started talking.
That's so autistic. Like, here's your cat, bro. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So, and I mean, like I got to talking to the guys. It was pretty cool. They were. Chill. I know.
No, you don't talk to like local cops. Your FBI. Yeah. What are you gonna fucking like not talk to the federal agents and get put in fucking Guantanamo? Like.
Well, like, and like, I know this is the meme that they do about like softening you up with like a bunch of other unrelated questions. But like after they figured out that it was just like a viral tweet that I made and it wasn't like any sort of serious connection, they started asking about like, so like who the fuck like are these people? Like, what are they? Do they like? Because there's a lot of weird comments to this shit. Do you just like ignore it all usually? And I'm like, oh yeah, like you don't read any of this stuff. Like when it starts hitting like a certain escape velocity, you just turn this shit off. And they just started asking about like the mindset of like how much you care.
Like, oh, less than nothing actually. As it turns out, they're just little blips on my screen. They're here for my entertainment.
Yeah.
Dance.
Yeah. He asked me about they started off by asking me like, oh, do you know anyone from this state? And I was like, I think I got like an ex down there. And They were like, no, this one's a boy. And I was like sitting there saying,
Did you call
like,
me gay,
do I
bro?
pretend, like, I could pretend to be gay and offended. Like, I could pretend, yeah, like, oh, you think that I'm not gay? Like, I could, but I'm like, the
This is
six
not the
squad
time for
cars,
humor.
the K9 unit. Like, should I write, like, I should stop the gay jokes for this one unique moment.
You might have been like,
in
oh, I
my
see why
life.
you have so many followers. Oh, your gay jokes are really just top tier. He was like, I might follow you too.
No, one of them was like really cool and like warm and friendly and stuff. I don't know if this was like an intentional like hot cold pairing or something, but the other was just like the most and like you had this understanding that like if this was the person who's reading your tweets and trying to decide whether it's like a joke or like a serious terroristic threat, like you would just be so fucked. Like he would never recognize any joke ever in the history of jokes. It could be the most obvious. Like you could literally do the Reddit like /s like sarcasm tag, and
You
like
might have
this
got
dude
lucky
would
and
not understand.
you got the Mormon FBI guy. That's the CIA. Never mind. A lot of federal agents because of the screening are Mormon because they can.
Oh yeah, that's funny. No, something really funny is like if you Google like should you lie on the screening to get your because you know like in order to become like an FBI agent you have to get like a security clearance, right? And getting a security clearance involves answering a bunch of questions about like have you ever used a drug in your life, right? Like if you say that you've ever used a drug, like you're disqualified immediately, right? So every single resource online says no, you can't lie, they will find out. Every single person who actually has the clearance, if you ask them in person with not on camera, not recorded, they say, yeah, just fucking lie. Everybody lies. It's retarded, man. Like you think every single FBI agent has never smoked weed. Does that make any sense to you? So if there's anyone out there, I guess, really
Good
like an aspiring
lie.
Fed, that's the well, no, I mean, I shouldn't even say that.
Oh, good point.
Like,
yeah, no, don't lie to the feds.
So no, don't lie. They'll find out.
I do know that, like, I think CIA, a lot of them are Mormon. I mean, because again, they don't have to lie. They're just like, yeah, I've never even fucking drank coffee. So
yeah,
and I tried to be
a Fed would actually be like, dude, if it was what we meme it to be, like it was just like tricking some total idiot into like incriminating himself.
That's
like,
actually what we do for fun on Twitter.
It's like that would be awesome. That would be so like I would be awesome at that, right? But it's like it's actually just doing paperwork.
I tried to be a Fed out of college.
You know, you're not doing like cool psyop warfare. It's like you do paperwork all day for 28 years, and then on your 28th FBI anniversary, they reward you by being the guy to go and trap one.
You got to go on the Discord and groom that guy. Like that's your fucking bonus, bro. Yeah, no, I wanted to do. When I joined the math major, I was like, yo, I want to do crypto analysis, whatever to like do like like breaking codes and shit. And they were like, that's a very oddly specific thing. I was like, yeah, I really like Goodwill Hunting. So I tried to do it, but I could not even. I went through like. I clearly failed the clearance, like the application, because I could not do answering any of the questions like truthfully. I was fucked, and I'm sure I even failed some of like the hidden psych profile ones. So when they're trying to figure out your like political leanings, like are you pro America enough at the time? Definitely not.
Oh yeah, it is really funny that like because like you know the fact that there's basically nothing online saying that you should lie to the feds for that screening, like that's not a product of everybody going online and saying like, oh, like it's just like different. Like really, people online just all believe that you shouldn't lie, and people in real life believe that you should. And there's some distinction between online and real life. It's that like the FBI is like actively going through and blowing off like every single person who says that you should do that, like deleting their messages,
that's a good point.
Their videos, like their content. Scrubbing everything. Like it's so funny. Imagine because that's also a job at the FBI. Right? It's like scrubbing the people who say that you should lie on screening tests.
I want to be the guy. The guy who gets paid to scrub the internet. That's probably a fun job too. It's like, oh, lost scandals of history, delete into oblivion you go. That guy's probably having a great day.
It would be really fun to be having like I don't know, being the guy who can decide what subjects just get deleted forever. You know, like you remember when the dancing Israeli, the FOIA request came out for that one, and just like 2/3 of all of the 9/11
yeah.
truther sites just instantly evaporated. Like they just got blown off the web. Like there was some guy who made the decision on that day and said like, we're going to pull the plug on 9/11 now, right? So like you could be that guy. Like there's a guy who is the guy who decides to just delete entire.
That guy's been working overtime the last few years.
That would be awesome,
bro. Last few years,
so
that guy's been doing his
cool,
fucking.
Man.
He's been getting promoted for sure. He's gotten like all kinds of medals last couple of years.
Yeah,
I can't find shit online anymore.
Yeah,
have you ever tried
really
Googling, bro? It's
like,
impossible now.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I know I've read 8 articles on this topic, and it just doesn't exist anymore.
And it's weird because like you can't even like go back through your history because browsers are starting to like wipe your shit after like 30 days now. And it's like, what? Like you can't what? Like you can't store a URL for it. It's like 0.2 kilobytes. Who fucking cares? Like this takes no system memory. Why are you choosing to save memory on this? You'll store every random Telegram video I download
and put it in 4 folders
that I joined, and like take up 50 gigabytes. Yeah, and you won't store the 2 kilobyte fucking URL. What the hell, man?
No, we're in like I see. That's also the thing. Like when you were younger, when they were like, oh, whatever you put on the internet is going to stay online forever. Turns out, no. Turns out it's like 2 years.
No, it's only the things you do that are like horrifying, right? Like that MK Ultra MILF girl, her tweet about how she got by a black guy and so she needs to lose weight now. Yeah. Those are the things that stay on the internet forever. It's like when you get canceled so hard that you just wish it would fucking go away. But like every single like learning resource or like technical document or anything that would ever help you. That's
ridiculous.
That's gone. That's fucking gone. You want the 2003 Civic owner's manual that you could just Google a PDF for? Nah, that's just fucking gone, man. But that time that you were like 18 years old and you called somebody like,
they'll find that shit deep fried. It'll be deep fried and memed and with the picture and caption, everything.
Shit is hard coded into the very essence of the internet, man.
Hey, listen. I mean, there needs to be like. The Wayback Machine used to work. Ever tried using that now? That shit's trash now.
Yeah, and archive.is is now like literally, I mean, this is the thing. Like once you become big enough that people rely on you as like a centralized backup or historical archival system, that also means that everybody who wants their shit
right to you,
off knows to come bribe you, right? Like it's the same thing with Google, where like DuckDuckGo is like, like we're gonna make the same thing now. A better Google. We're gonna make like a second, and now they're exactly the fucking. I keep sitting in this weird slanted off angle. Anyway, it's exactly the fucking same thing now. Right? It's just it's equally as shitty, except like Google at least has like algorithmic power at their hand. So like for the 3 subjects that you search for that like they don't just give you a bunch of ad links, they actually have okay responses. Whereas like DuckDuckGo is just like they have no compute power and they're just serving you ads all the time instead of.
I'm gonna start using one of that shit that Russian one, Zanga or some shit. Yandex, there we go.
Yandex, I think Yandex is actually like really good for like memes. Like if you think of like a really, really niche meme, you can go in there and basically plug in like 3 of the words.
I use it for finding like rips on really that weird. Japanese YouTube, the Chinese YouTube or whatever. Every time I need a video of some shit that's been pirated, it's always on one of the Asian YouTubes, and I go on Yandex to find it. It's been good.
I've been using Bing more. Because after building the PC, just because it like Edge was the default browser, and I was just I'm just gonna keep using Edge. Actually, like it's fine.
Chrome is
like Chrome actually, dude. Like Chrome is fried.
I have to rotate
dude. It's
browsers
just total
every year.
ass.
I've learned. I have like I've been on Brave. Brave's been dog shit recently, so I've been using Firefox more. I like rotate, and then like eventually an update shows up that makes one better than the other, and I just rotate.
If you ever Google like what browser should I use, everybody always likes Firefox, but then every
Firefox
time I go
gets
and use
fried
Firefox,
every other update. Like it has like good. There are some runs where it's like, all right, these 3 updates in a row, Firefox 72 through 73, 75 are good, and then it'll be like 76, and you're like, all right, this shit doesn't work anymore. All right, back to Brave, and that's just kind of how you have to do it.
Yeah. I don't know what I did when I signed up, but like I got so extremely tapped in. I must have like not unchecked the like option to give Microsoft all of my data that I've ever created. But like Edge browser rocks now because it has like the AI that has consumed all of my data and it like tells me shit. You know, like it'll tell me that like a package was delivered or like that I have like a meeting or something. And it's like I didn't ever like turn that on.
I don't mind
know
that
how
though.
it happened.
I like
really,
convenience.
But it's like, that's the thing is like, I just assume that they have it all anyway. And I've totally given up on this idea of
Yeah,
privacy.
it's over.
Really.
Privacy's
Like,
done.
I don't even think it's possible, right? Like, I think every guy who's like the same mental type as us had the weird like privacy cell phase where, and it's like, you know, you're trying to communicate through like end-to-end encrypted means and like you're storing your,
You got to go the other
but it's
direction.
like, it just became
like
so
flood the
inconvenient.
internet with so much information they can't find shit.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that I care enough to spend. Yeah, it's like the same thing with like maintaining anonymity at this point, where it's like I'm not necessarily willing to just outright dox, I guess, but like every day I have this understanding that like a given amount of my time and energy is lost to like maintaining anonymity online, and I'm like, is it like, you know, because in 2020 it was all upsides, no downsides to being anonymous, and now it's like. Okay, like it's actually like a pain in the ass to have to construct like a weird, convoluted legal vehicle and a trust whenever I want to like sign a contract without revealing my legal name, right? Like that's actually a pain in the ass. And like this thing, like even this, like I'm going through and I'm like fucking blurring my face out on the video. And it's like this is time. And then that makes another big problem because like I can't hand the video off to someone else to blur my face out. Because then it doxes me, so I gotta fucking do the video blur myself. It's like
it's a cost benefit.
At some point, stupid.
The cost of anonymity, especially after a certain size online, it doesn't even make sense anymore, right? Because when you get enough, at some point, the scales are tipping for both of us, where it's like you get more out of not being anonymous. That's why Solbra doxed.
Yeah,
the scales tipped.
Yeah, no, like all of these guys, and it's like, again, like I'm not suggesting that anyone go out and dox because like the people who doxed, like these are all basically like internet wealthy bachelors. It's a very fucking different thing if you're like employed by a company and you have like family, or if you're just like an average like internet retard who will gain nothing by doxing. Like I had some guy say like, well, should I dox to like grow my account or something? And I was like, I have like 147 followers, man. Like you're not gonna make you're not gonna fucking like, you know, like this isn't going to turn you into an influencer. You're just going to like give up all of your personal information.
Grow the account first, then you can think about doxing.
Right. Yeah. It's like, and there's no reason you can't grow an account anonymously. You know, it's like, this is like the guys who are like, oh, and like, should I start steroids? And it's like, I've been lifting for 2 years and this is what I look like. And you're like, dude, start like exercising first. You don't like, nobody can tell you even lift. You're not going to do steroids and then everything is going to turn around.
You like shit, man. Get in the fucking gym.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, both of us are sort of in this position where it's like, increasingly I am irritated by what comes with anonymity, but also like there are obviously like annoying things that would come to like come with doxing, right? Like you just have to deal with like a whole other boatload of weird shit that goes on. But I'm in this point also where like I'm kind of dealing with it anyway, because like I've gone around to enough meetups and like I've dealt with enough people that like people like pretty much know who I am.
It's so at some point it just doesn't even matter anymore. Like when enough people know your name that it's like almost weird. Like, why are they calling me my fake name? You're like, all right, you know what? The whole group chat actually knows who I am. So why are we doing this? But so it goes.
Yeah. Well, and then there's like, anytime I say anything about this or about how it's like it's sort of inconvenient to deal with any of this shit, there's this group of people like Lucas is a federal agent trying to convince everybody to dox. That was our fucking plan
the whole time, like, bros. You guys don't even know.
Yeah, dude. Like you can't even just fucking complain about like weird shit that is coming up without some internet spurt. And it's like the people who are worried about getting doxed are never the people that it matters if they get doxed, right? Like all these people who like go to these like super serious levels of like OPSEC concern, this is something I've noticed actually. It's one of two things. One is that they're just a spurg, and they think that they have some like forbidden knowledge that the government is going to like come after them from, right? It's like nobody cares that you like posted the N-word on like some alt or something. Maybe your like dad will get mad at you or what, but it's like this isn't like you don't.
No,
have
this
a
is like
job.
when I
Like,
encrypted.
This
is like when I encrypted part of my
like nothing will happen.
hard drive
or
that had nothing to put in it, and it was just fucking bricked.
Yeah,
and I was like, I guess, yeah. I partitioned my drive to like have a little, and I was like, there's nothing to put in this.
I've done that same thing actually. And then but the second category is people who are explicitly like trying to hide their account from their wives as they like fuck random e-girls. And like every time I come across someone at this point who has like a big account and they're like super seriously concerned about OPSEC, that's what it is.
All right, so I have to actually call because of my birthday plans. I'm getting messaged. But we have enough. We have some good content.
Okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
Of course, right when we start getting on a roll is when.
Yeah, we do. I think. I know, and it's like we probably fucking because
of the
talked over
the
each
delay.
other so much for that first part. Do you like? I'm only gonna wear this and the other flannel.
If it's like my side, it wasn't too bad. But we had the input delay with the connection.
I think we probably talked over each other like a really annoying amount, just because like every time it would be like a snap on my end, and then you would be talking, and then I would stop, and then it was
we fixed it definitely on this recording,
but
so maybe.
Yeah, it was dumb. Why I had the VPN up because I wanted to have the fucking coins on my screen while doing this, but it's like that was like totally mentally draining me anyway. Like I can't focus on charts while podcasting. It just
all right, I gotta call it.
Yeah,
we'll catch you guys later.
When he gets older, he won't sound like this anymore, right?